Now remember, my teeth go about right here, but my lip goes further. So you're used to doing the opposite, this way. It's okay. It's too much of an extreme. But what I want her to know is, to avoid the scooping, you have to have a ton of air going, and the tongue should not get in the way of the airstream. If the tongue drops because the air is too light, it will cause the scoop.
만약에 그 텅잉할 때 또 이렇게 이게 호흡이 부족하게 되면 혀가 들리지가 않고 자꾸 떨어지게 되는데 그러면은 자꾸
Yeah, so the tongue goes to the lips, but it doesn't come out. We have to change. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. So. Okay. You share with your friends. Bravo. Thank you so much.
그다음
Oh, not for you. You played. I didn't play. I'm not doing anything. You're doing the work. Please, please. It's okay. Thank you. Sorry. You're music.
여성이도 빨리 오라 그래라. 다현이 먼저 할래?
저요?
얘 화장실 갔어.
What are we having next?
그래 너
I like your shirt. That's cool. Yeah.
Hello, 하고 nice to meet you.
Hello. It's nice to meet you. What is your name?
My name is Tayo.
Tayo?
Tayo.
Taeyong?
Yeah.
Yong. Taeyong.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to try it again. I'll mess it up. Oh, good. Bernstein Sonata. This is a beautiful piece. The Rossini was beautiful too. Where are you? Oh, there you go. I know. I'm flat too. But it's good to be flat in the beginning, right? Because it's soft. And the clarinet tends to play sharp when we play soft. So to be a little under pitch with the instrument a little cold is actually good for the beginning of this piece.
이 피스 그 첫 번째 부분은 되게 부드럽게 불어야 되는데 우리가 부드럽게 불 때 약간 피치가 올라간대. 그래서 약간 그 셋업이 조금 피치가 낮은 상태면은 훨씬 더 좋을 수 있고.
Remember, grazioso, right? Grazioso.
그라지오스.
No hectic. Take your time. Enjoy every interval. Singing. And therefore, if you sense that she is a little bit, then pull her back. Pull her back a little bit. Help each other to make the music. One more time. This is very good. One thing, I keep looking because your hair goes like this. I can't see her embouchure. I don't want you to change your hair. Your hair's fine. But I can't. I have to keep looking. Where are you? So I would ask you the same thing that I was asking her. If you can pull the clarinet into your body more here, it will help you too because you're very much like me. I like to play like this. And I can't. I'm too old now. I can't change the way I play, but you can. So if you could just pull your shoulders back and let them relax, but that will only happen if you pull the clarinet to you, right? In and up. Okay. And it's not that I don't want to hear this piece. I love both of these pieces. But here's what I want you to know. There are many dynamics that have happened on the paper, but not for the audience. So what needs to happen is a few things. I think we have to realize that sometimes playing comfortably will only get you so far. That because you can comfortably go to me, what I'm sensing is the notes are going by, but you're still in that practice room back over here, right? You're still back there. It's a moment for you to bring the audience to the music, but you have to be willing to take the chance.
이해했어? 내가 내용 다 이해하는 줄 알았어. 그러니까 이게 지금 이렇게 그 음은 계속 앞으로 가고 있는데 너는 마치 저 뒤에서 불고 있는 것 같고 그 관객들이 이 음악에 들어올 수 있게 너가 불어줘야 돼.
So here's the thing. I think it's a combination of this is what I can do with my equipment. Okay, so I think, if you don't mind, I just want to see. Yeah, it's your equipment. The reed will only play so loud. The mouthpiece, it can play loud, but it plays one color all the time.
그러니까 크게 부를 수 있고 다 좋은데 너의 지금 모든 지금 그 장비가 그 한 가지 소리밖에 지금 못 내는 거야.
So when you started here, that was the right color. That's fine. But then the next moment, so much more, and I'm not even coming close.
Bravo.
Oh, but I know I'm not coming close. I want you to just take it to another level. And to do that, this has to change. I'm sure of it. I think that the reed is too light. The thing is, here's the thing. We work so hard on making a good sound on the clarinet. And to make a good sound is fantastic. But now we have to be able to make wide dynamic ranges and many different colors. And as long as you feel that you use your air extremely well and you push, but you're not getting the sound you want, then there's something that needs to change.
그러니까 지금 뭔가 그 다양한 그 음색을 가지고 있어야 되고 폭이 넓은 다이나믹을 너가 해야 되는데 이걸로는 지금 한계가 있다라고.
That's not to say I love Patrick Messina. He is a dear friend. That has nothing to do with the ligature. I think it might have to do. Play easy. I know. There's no such thing. Remember, it's a deceptive title to a mouthpiece. Play easy means don't try hard. You must always. What are the greatest artists you love in art? Let's say operatic singer. You know, like right now, Stephanie Blythe. When she sings, you melt. But that woman is working so hard but not just in the notes that she's singing, but how she takes you to the next note. She is using so much power and concentration and effort always. She's completely fatigued when she finishes singing.
그러니까 그 성악 오페라 싱어
Stephanie Blythe or
스테파니 블레이브 그런 오페라 싱어들이
or Luciano Pavarotti, you know, any great singer,
유명한 성악가들이
any great ballet dancer.
발레 댄서나
It looks so easy. It's so elegant. Every single muscle of their body has been worked to beyond fatigue.
그게 보기에는 되게 쉬워 보이고 다 이렇게 되게 우아하고 그래 보이지만 모든 그 근육이나 이런 거 봤을 때 엄청난 노력이 들어 있다라는 거죠. 그러니까 마우스피스에는 플레이 이지라고 써져 있는데 그래서 쉽게 이렇게 줘야 된다는 거 아니에요.
Okay, she plays on a 3.5 V12.
3호 반 V12을 쓰는데
She's first of all the ligature is not tight enough.
지금 조리개가
It's too big.
좀 크대 지금.
It's too big.
잘 조여지지가 않는데.
Okay, so this is going to automatically, if she gets a tighter ligature, and I'm sure there must be a different size that Patrick makes that's a little tighter. For this dimension is too small for that ligature.
지금 마우스피스의 그 폭이랑 지금 안 맞다고.
Okay, I'm going to get a cheap $8
$8짜리
nickel bonade ligature,
니켈
maybe $12 ligature,
어쩌면 $12고.
and we're gonna tighten that on real tight
아주 강하게 조여주고
with a 5 blue box reed. And oh no, 5! Watch, she's gonna play it fantastic.
5호 플레이 시작해주고.
Thank you. The reed is, new, so it's going to die in about 5 seconds. But play.
한 5초 뒤에 다시 죽을 거지만 한번 해보래.
You know, it's funny. I was talking with your teacher on the way in today, and it was fantastic. I couldn't believe it. He tells me how old he is, and I said, I'm old enough to be your father. You cannot be 50, what, 50? 52. 52. He's more like 25. Okay. So the interesting thing is, what is a number?
You're a good man.
No, you are a good man. You have great students. Here's the thing. We see a number. We see 3.5. Oh, that's a hard read. No, it's a number. This is a 5. It doesn't make a difference. It matters where is the power. The power is here. This is what makes the difference. Okay? If this means she has to work harder, if she sounds better, it's worth it. It's worth it. Play a little bit. Look. Okay, so now she's exhausted, right? She's tired.
너무 지쳤어.
Right? And that's okay. Because it's like training for the Olympics, right? You have to develop strength in order to get the gold medal, right? It's not going to just come to you.
더 열심히 노력해야 된다.
Now, I'm not saying play easy is bad. I'm saying you never play easy. Let the mouthpiece do what it does, but you have to work.
이지가 나쁘다는 게 아니라 절대
So,
쉽게
hand
부르지
here.
말라고. 너가 쉽게 부는 게 나쁘다.
Oh, so you have to squeeze. Yeah.
눌러 세게 눌러. 터지게.
Right? Yeah, okay, you can do this. Now look, it's going to still seem hard, and I'm going to drop the reed just a little bit, because, you know, honestly, maybe a 4 would be a more rational choice. I just don't have any 4s on me.
조금 리드를 내려보고.
But a blue box 4, or a 4.5, 3, V12, that's more what she should be working with. Try that now. Okay, stop. Now, just play da-dee-ya-da right now. Okay, now don't look down, look up. Okay, now. Okay, this posture here is how you have to play. Okay, because I do bend. Look, I'm. If you've seen me in the art, I'm like completely hovered over the clarinet. But the truth is, my neck never. I don't close off my throat. We're wind players, so wind is life, and if you close your lifeline, everything goes, right?
이게 생명인데 이걸 끊어버리면.
The more that you can play with the clarinet in, more of the reed vibrates. Your body begins to vibrate with the instrument because the air is all within you. Okay? And if you keep a nice firm embouchure, you only let the air out that you want. Think about it. You only let the air out that your embouchure allows to go through the clarinet. So I'm encouraging you not only to play stronger reeds, but to use a stronger embouchure as the same thing too.
그러니까 지금 그 두꺼운 리드를 쓰는 것도 문제지만 좀 더 강한 그 주법을 입 주력을 더욱더 키우는 것이 중요하다고.
So,
왜냐하면 호흡이 진짜 중요하다고 했는데 이 주법은 호흡을 통과시키는 역할을 하기 때문에 이게
Now,
가장 중요하다.
I'll show you an example. If we take this ligature off and we put the messina back on, I think maybe this also might be why harder reeds aren't so. I can't even get that time. I could, if you can take your thumb and move the ligature, it's too light. You should be able to have it tight and not be able to move it at all, as strong as you can push it.
엄지로 강하게 이렇게 들었는데도 리가초 조리개가 안 움직이는 정도의 방법을 보여줄 수 있어요.
See, I can go. It's off. So I'll push it. I mean, what I'll do is I'll lower it as much as I can, but that ideally you only want it about 1 millimeter below the bark line.
그 마우스피스 라인이
This is too low, but I might be able to get it tight.
내려야 되는데 지금 너무 느슨해서 더 내린다고 말씀하셨어요.
That's a better trick. And one thing I did notice is that, like G sharp, A, the throat tones are very sharp on her instrument. So I can't tell if it's the mouthpiece plays high there, because some mouthpieces play high in the throat tones, or that she needs to have tape put inside the tone holes to bring the pitch down. They're not
G sharp?
A and G sharp, yeah. And you might need to close the register key a little bit more. It's too open. That also contributes to the sharpness in the upper register too. That'll help your left hand be a little bit lower in pitch. You see how close?
그러니까
Not there,
특징은
here.
지금 높거나 뭐 낮거나
So you put more
높을
something
때는
underneath.
테이프로
cork,
구멍을
cork,
조금 더
Try to play this
막는다든지
now. See if
그런
that feels any
말씀이시죠.
better. Anyway. Oh, sorry. Good. So now we see where she needs to go. We'll put her regular setup back on, just so that she feels a little bit more comfortable with where she is.
이제 다시 원래
Bring it down
세팅으로
here.
돌아가서
Make it a little
다시 한번
tighter.
들어볼게요.
So I can play that, but I have to change my air column from what I normally play, which is very, very compact and direct, to now like breathing. Oh. Right? There are good things about that. I know that when you want to have a wider sense of variation in color and dynamic contrast with richness of sound, that's difficult to do with a lighter reed. But we're going to now see what articulation is like. Try it. I don't know if it's too dry for you. Your reed might be too dry. You can play a few notes just to make sure the reed
그러니까
is
지금
wet for you.
너무 드라이 할 수 있으니까 건조할 수 있으니까 그냥 불어버려요. 시작하기 전에.
Oh, she's back. She's back home again. All right. Okay, very good, very good. Do me a couple of favors. Whenever you play G sharp, right hand completely down all the time.
아 만약에 G샵 그 풀샵 키 누를 때
No, throw G sharp. Yeah,
오른손을 다 눌러주세요.
everything, everything.
너무 높나 봐.
So, for example, where are we? There was one. So, da 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 dee da dee. Whichever one you want to keep, and even if it's just these three fingers, it's going to help.
그냥 오른손만 눌러주는 거.
Right, and then da dee da da dee da da da. And then right. Until you get this tape put in here, until you get electrical tape or more cork put inside the tone hole, you have to keep
right?
it. Yes, in the tone hole. In the tone hole.
그러니까 여기 구멍에
sorry.
이 구멍에 약간 그 되게 얇은 테이프나 이런 거. 근데 아키샵 가면은 해주거든.
Another thing I'd like to ask you to do is try to avoid the middle finger F sharp as much as possible.
웬만하면 옥타브 그 F 샵 할 때 가운데 손가락은 피해줬으면 좋겠다.
Obviously here you won't, right? Dee da da da, dee da da, that's fine. But here, da da da, dee da dee da da. If you can, that's a hard leap. But there are a couple of options. The reason why I don't like this F sharp is because it's dull. It's a duller sounding. It's a little bit low in pitch.
약간 음정이 낮대.
This is the best F sharp or B natural. Whenever you have a chance, try to avoid playing B or F sharp with the middle finger. It's a very dull quality of sound.
되게 더러운 소리가 나요.
I put my tongue on the reed while I play to bring the pitch down. So a lot of times we're like, well, how do you do that? That's going to stop the sound. I don't put my tongue where I normally tongue. I put it here.
그러니까 리드에 지금 원래 그 평상시에는 텅잉을 할 때 여기다가 혀를 대는데 지금 계속 부으시면서 지금 혀를 약간 여기다 대면서 부으셨대. 근데 그 피치를 떨어뜨리려고.
So,
너가
tongue is on the reed. A very sharp note. And it rounds it out a little bit, but it brings the pitch down more importantly. And you don't have to change your embouchure or your jaw.
그러니까 지금 그
So,
주법을 바꾸지 않아도 음정을 내릴 수 있다고.
it must be a low note anyway, especially when we play soft. Can you play just the end? Okay, the pitch, the quality of sound immediately changes when she is in the right position. Do whatever you can. Tie a shoestring around your waist that goes around the bell of the clarinet so that you never go past a certain point.
그러니까 신발끈을 이렇게 묶어가지고 한 요 정도까지만 오게 한 다음에 악기를 이렇게 껴가지고 하래.
Or
절대 밖으로 나가지 않아.
Or you practice near a wall and you only go there's nothing, you will know if you're going too far, it'll hit you in the head. So these are important things. I mean, the talent is great here. There's beautiful, the music making I know is great. This was wonderful. There's no issue with really with the basic fundamentals of technique. None. It's more of a simple pull the bell in, a little bit more focus on embouchure, and play slightly harder reeds so that you learn to use your air more. Just because you can play it doesn't mean you're playing it the best you can play it.
그러니까 지금 어려운 기술이나 이런 것들은 뭐 재능이나 이런 건 너무나도 좋은데 아주 그냥 기본적인 것들, 그냥 각도라든지 주법이라든지 호 쓰는 거, 그리고 리드를 조금 두껍게 쓰는 거, 이런 기본적인 것들.
I can play it. Oh, I can't play it. I don't even know the notes. I apologize. Yeah, I played this piece before, sure. No, it's but remember this: the staccatos are not as it's not a French staccato, right? It's not even a Russian staccato. It's American music, so it's a little bit more Germanic, I would say. I don't care how short you play, really, as long as I'm not distracted by your tongue. If I hear your tongue, that's not appealing to me. I think the tongue, we should not know what creates the sound. We should just hear separation. You know, because if I hear your tongue, then I know, wow, she's got a really great tongue. I want to know you have a great tone.
그러니까 지금 너무 그 스타카토나 toning을 할 때 너무 toning에만 집중이 되어 있지 톤에는 전혀 신경 쓰지 않고 있다고.
And this applies to all music, in my opinion. When
모든
you get to say Nielsen, you know, wow, what is that? Wow, that was something. But are you saying something lyrically within a technical passage? That's really what I want to hear.
테크니컬한 부분에서 좀 더
shape the phrase. Don't think about your tongue. Your tongue is great. Okay?
혀는 너무 좋대.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that one more time. And then I know we have to move on. Almost? Try three. Aha, thank you. Okay, so she's getting the idea. I don't want you to relax your air, and I don't want you to relax your embouchure. It's so embrace the embouchure a little bit more and relax your tongue like you're doing, but don't relax your airstream. Thank you. Okay, this is good. It's all new, right? It's different. It's different. The hardest part in all those passages is getting started, right? With the sound that you want. If you go, you're already off to the wrong start. If you're it's closer, but I want something in the middle. I want the air to be like your first time and your tongue like your second time. So it's two different things sort of working together. So the trick is you can start with a slightly more legato tone and then bring the staccato in. Because we're not used to, if all of a sudden we hear a it hurts the listener a little bit. You're not hurting me, but I mean, it's much more gracious and elegant